Dragon Age the Missing Part 3 sees Varric and Lace travel to Arlathan Forest by sea. Arlathan Forest, where the veil is thin. Varric and Lace encounter a group of elves, the Veil Jumpers. I was correct. We do encounter Strife from Tevinter Nights, and I was correct to assume he is one of the Veil Jumpers. Irelin was also in Tevinter Nights. She is a friend of Strife. I had hoped it would be Strife and Mirian, but still, it's Strife. So now with Strife and Irelin, it is the third duo from Tevinter Nights who might appear as allies in Dragon Age Dreadwolf, but not as companions, I don't think, since duos are rarely ever companions. They might be allies in various key locations we might visit. Arlathan Forest would be a good key location for us to visit. And perhaps these are clues to origin stories. So an elf might be a Veil Jumper who begins in Arlathan Forest, a warden might begin at Weisshaupt and wind up in the Deep Roads, like in Part 1. A crow might be another origin, and perhaps Marna Spell and Varantium have to do with other class and race origins. A slave elf perhaps might begin in Varantium or Marna Spell. We're going next to Minrathous. I hope to see Dorian and Mayveris as the next duo, to set them up as allies and advisors for Dragon Age 4. And Dorian and Mayveris are also in Tevinter Nights, so it would fit with the theme of Tevinter Nights duos. Minrathous is bound to be another origin story location too. Veil Jumpers are elves, Dalish and non-Dalish mages and hunters, willing and able to contain the threat of the weak Veil. Strife is in that purple-orange style outfit, not too dissimilar from the short story concept art from a couple of years ago. The Crucius Stone is in a vault, within an ancient temple, deep inside the Veil. The group members literally, albeit temporarily, switch places with spirits to pass through that part of the forest. In the place where time is different, Varric ages for a few minutes, getting attacked, and then is saved by the person in the Venatori helmet who's been following him in Lace. And that being seems to have shifted through time and sort of decayed before disappearing from view again, killing the beast with the same arrows and precision as the Deep Stalker in Part 1. So this is not the first time, and since Part 1, this person has been protecting them. As soon as they arrive at the temple, they are greeted by murals. The main Dragon Age Dreadwolf image, Solas's paintings. He's been here recently, unless these are older paintings. The new mural depicts what appears to be Gillanane and Andruel. It looks like a death scene or severe injury scene. This could take place right before the Evanuris were trapped in the Fade. Perhaps their bodies needed to die for that to happen. In the next mural, the one we've been seeing for Dragon Age Dreadwolf this whole time, depicts the Dreadwolf gnawing at the world, coming from the Fade. So this could be when Solas lay his trap and caused everything that he did. Or it could be the future, like I've speculated in the past. Some of you also pointed out that the headgear of these look awfully similar to Tevinter fashion. It makes me wonder how much of ancient Lavellan has spilt into the Tevinter Imperium, and why do they seem unaware of it? How far back does it go? And what hidden history between the Evanuris and the Vince have we yet to learn? Solas was there recently to retrieve the Crucius Stone, and he left a note, specifically for Varric. In his letter, Solas reveals his intent to mitigate damage to Thedas. He also says he does not want to be the villain. Either he does not see himself as the villain, while being vaguely aware that he is the perceived villain, or this is a clue for Dragon Age Dreadwolf that Solas can either be just perceived as the villain or the actual villain. He also warns Varric, in other words, gives him a veiled threat, pun intended. I had previously speculated that Solas might want Varric to follow him. In his note, he tells Varric to stop his pursuit. Initially, one might think he does not want Varric to pursue him, but Solas works in layers, and he knows how to express things to garner the reaction he needs to predict the best approach to manipulate events. That's why I think he told Varric this, so that Varric wants to continue to pursue him. Unless, of course, I'm reading too much into it, and it really is as simple as it sounds. He wants him to stop following his trail. But I believe that Solas wants Varric to continue to follow him, and there's a reason for it. Solas has caused what's happening in Arlathan with the Crucius Stone, or the Crucius Stone caused it before Solas took it. But either way, with the stone, Solas could cause these strange phenomena to occur everywhere in Thedas. Varric claims he and Lace are the only ones who can stop Solas. I'm not sure how, perhaps with the help of the Dragon Age 4 protagonist, but since neither of them are mages, I don't know how they are the only ones who can. At this point, all theories of who the Venatori helmeted being is still apply, but several of you have voiced the theory that this person could be the new protagonist. I can see the protagonist in a disguise if we find ourselves in Tevinter, and the origin story could be a flashback of sorts of how we got there. So now I am adding that theory to all the others. In the trailer a few years back, Varric says,
"We've got your back. I've got your back."
If this mystery being is indeed the new protagonist, he would then be repaying the favor for that being having had his back all this time. Also, if the veil gets warped in places by the Crucia Stone and it makes time flow strangely, then that explains the 30 years ago from 922 Dragon from the Flame Eternal short story, which makes that story take place in 952 Dragon some 7 years after Trespasser, which means Dragon Age Dreadwolf does not begin that much later, but we may jump through time at some point in the game. I'm hoping the time jump stuff is only for like one main quest or something and not throughout the entire game. And again, I reiterate that with everything that has been established, I do not think that Dragon Age Dreadwolf starts 7 years after the end of Trespasser. I believe we visit that time through that weird veil stuff. So there were no Witches of the Wild like I had speculated, but I did say the hut could be the home of the Veil Jumpers. The cover for part 4 shows Vince and Venatori and claims Varric and Lace have a choice to make. This time, those in the scope are the Venatori. So I'm guessing that we're going to learn in part 4 who the being following them truly is. The blurb reads, "After many close encounters and more signs of a Venatori stalking them, Varric and Harding continue their quest for Solas. This time, it seems they're hot on his heels as they enter the city of Minrathous, where Solas has been recently spotted. Varric connects with a trusted informant who might help him. Searching for answers, the duo find they have a tough decision to make, and they'll need to make the right call fast. Trusted informant might be Dorian. That's why I'm hoping Dorian and Maevaris. And of course, Solas was there. We'll find clues, but I don't think we'll encounter Solas per se. We'll encounter Solas in Dragon Age Dreadwolf. I believe the decision might be regarding recruiting the new protagonist or not. This enforces the theory of the being following them being the new protagonist. We'll find out on April 26th. Again, it was a bit short. It feels like something is missing, not to use the title of the comic, but it feels like there's something more that could be there that isn't there. And I'm hoping it all comes together in part 4. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all soon. Masaranas.